Hi there, welcome to Immanuel Khan's New Player's Guide to the Great Whale Road. While this is not a terribly hard game, there are quite a few things that you would like to know at the start, and that the game doesn't tell you that obviously, so I'm going to show you. We're just going for one of the new factions, the Frisians, and then I'm going to tell you step by step what is best, what you can do, how you should do things, how you can develop the characters, that it makes sense, what is a good group, and how you should develop your stronghold, Duvenburg in that case. So, let's get into the game. There are a few screens. If you choose the Zilithi, you're the woman and you're very strong, believe in the Frisians and all things like that. And now we're going to a band of thieves where we can show off the combat already. So, grab your weapons and run into the market. And this is turn-based combat. And it's not very hard, but there are a few things you should know. So apart from the tutorial, which is quite good, I'm just going to tell you the basics of what you should do. There's a number of rounds here always. So in the first round you'll get all the people, to place all the people with a 1. You can place them down here. After that they can still move. So we're going to end the turn here. These are the focus points for the war cries. More to that later. There are a couple of war cries, and part of the progression is that you get a tree of war cries. And that tree of war cries is basically your level progression. So there is nothing else to improve but the war cries. Then you've got a few classes, like the heavies are, as their name is, a little bit better for defense. Then you have assault classes, which are a little bit better for offense in general. Have slightly different weapon choices. Additionally to the heavies and the assaults, you only have heavies and assaults in the tutorial. But there are supports, and there are also something similar to Bard Rangers, I'd call them. And they are good for ranged weapons, but they are not that good in general. So the heavies and the assaults are still like your bread and butter. So don't skip them. Don't skip them. If you choose a group to go your first war band, don't think, hey, I'm just going for rangers or something like that. So pick the heavies and the assaults. You'll have most of them too, but I just wanted to mention it. They are just very, very good. So standard tactics apply. If you have a spare, you have a higher range, which you can use for waylay tactics, which means if they come near, you'll be able to attack them. You can always move and then do something. So if they move in, they'll be attacked from all the sides. When they come into range, they can also attack then. So it's all good. Now the combat there's some important things about combat, especially if you have blunt weapons. Blunt weapons are quite good. You can remove the defense points first, which is what you should do. So you should first attack these guys to remove defense points, if you can do that somehow, and only then would you go for attacks. And if you cannot remove defense points, then go for the piercings first. They push through at least 1 damage, and later the slashings. So I would also place these guys now. Can move in here, and this is you can see here your war cries and what they do. Focus is quite good. Of course, cautious move is also good for defense. In that case, I'm just going to move in here. And he can maybe focus just to show you that. And attack. And there you have the choice. And as he still has defense points, as you can see here, also here, that white thing is defense points, we'll go for blunt weapons to remove that. So we have a blunt attack. That now they are away. His shield is broken. And it's much easier to hit. And slash is now the weapon of choice, so to say. In that case, we only have a pierce weapon, so we're using pierce. And there we go. Always, when you kill someone, you get the points back. So, that's the basic thing about combat. Let's continue. I'm going to skip the rest and then we'll see about your village management, which is also very important. See you then. So we're here into the yearly planning. There's a lot you can do here. First, you should make sure that you have enough food to survive the winter. That is quite important. And we'll also give you some trade goods, like hunting would also give you pelts, and you can also trade with food, of course. Husbandry will also sometimes give you livestock. Farming will just give you food. So there's abundant food at harvest time. So this is like continual food income, so to say, continuous food income, and this is at harvest time. There's a big income. I have traditions for the happiness, also quite important. Warfare keeps you protected and gives you better trained heroes. They will earn more renown on their adventures, while the heroes who remain can grow by sharing stories about their deeds on the training field. So this is basically your progress in the character development, which is still good. So also the people that can stay at home can progress. You have diplomacy, also quite all of these things are mostly equally important. You can specialize in something, like you could specialize in trading goods and trading influence. That would be nice, but very soon you will have a population that is maximum everywhere. And how can you change that? You can upgrade. If you click on this, you can see the upgrades and what you need for them. You can see here, to upgrade hunting, you need tools and rope. So what you should do, there are certain missions, trade missions. You should go on a trade mission. You should somehow screenshot or note down this, what you need for the upgrade, and try to get it in your trade mission. So you can upgrade it in the next session of population assignment, yearly planning, and all kinds of things like that. You can see that there are different progressions here. And you can definitely specialize on something, like you could specialize on warfare, but it is easier, usually, to just develop everything equally and be happy. Same goes for the ship and the ship upgrades. You have a good trading ship at the start of 100 ship capacity. I recommend to you to take with you wares that you don't need to upgrade here in the yearly planning. So to look there, what you need for upgrades is what you shouldn't sell. So note that down. Don't sell your meat. You need it for the traditions upgrade, for the happiness bonus, which gives you more production overall after a while. And same goes for here, tools, pelts. You would leave some of that at home to be able to upgrade quickly. You can already upgrade, for example, this. Resources will be consumed. In that case, you're starting with an opportunity to upgrade. And of course you should do that, right? There we go. You can go for a lot more people then to invest there, and you have a lot higher production in that case. So that's the thing. You can very easily go for an equal distribution. At the start, I'd recommend going for food to have always the full population that you can assign then, and then everything else should be no problem. Just for the trade missions or for any missions, pick up the stuff you don't need for upgrades and try to get the stuff you need for the upgrades, and then everything is fine. Same goes for the ship upgrade, of course. Ship upgrades are very helpful, as you can see. Ship capacity goes up, ship crew goes up, and your maximum warband goes up, which is very helpful in encounters. Not that the encounters are very tough, but after a while they start getting tougher, and it is definitely a good thing to have a bigger warband also, that more people can collect experience. So let's continue to the sea travels. So first, before you get to the sea travels, you'll usually see the winter results, and then you can go on a quest. It's a nice overview. You can analyze it. You can see there how many goods you could get from the diplomacy, how many goods you could get from craftsmanship, and how effective which things were. You could look at the journal already, and usually you have a main quest to go for. You can see here the trading goods, quite important. You can see the value of that good in your settlement. And the special Danish, Frankish and Frisian items. Now these are important Saxon items. If you note down where you are going, especially on the map, you know that, like, if you're in Denmark, you'll always be able to buy the Danish items. And if you proceed to the Frankish or Frisian lands, you might be able to sell them better. That said, most of the trading posts or trading villages you go for, you should, if you can take the pains, screenshot or note down what they have and what they need and what the prices are, because that's how you really get to the big profits in trading, and then trading becomes easy. Your main purpose of trading, if you're not concentrating on the trading like this, is to get the goods to upgrade your village. And that is quite possible. At least at the start, it's pretty easy. It gets harder after a while because you don't have that much, and you need to get a lot, and you also want to upgrade your weapons from your warband with silver, and silver means you will just sell things and not trade them for the goods to upgrade. So there's quite a few things that you should look at there, and we're just going to go for that main quest so you can see how the journey preparation goes. The tutorial is also instructive. I definitely look at that. I'm just telling you the basic things you should look for, like look for a good distribution here of close combat and moderate combat, and maybe ranged combat and support. So we would have her, she has a spare, and this is like half ranged combat. But you need a front line. So we'll take the assault class here, and she's got a shield too. I believe, let's see, he has equipped a hunting spear. If you go to the details, you can always see what they have. He's got a heavy hunting spear. I mean, you can see the shield here, but that really doesn't make a difference. That's just the figures here. And we'll just pick some guys up. At the start, it is good to have some assaults and some heavies. We're just picking 1 and 1. And then everything should be nice. For the ship storage, as I said, you should note down what you have. But there's also a special tactic I like to recommend to people just starting off with the game. It's easily done and it's fun because you have a lot of events that way. You can have events in the winter, you can have events when you have like a ship travel, and you can have events when hunting. And we're going to take with us just some food to sell because we have a ton of food. You need food for the travel as well, so if you have, there are like places where you can sell the food for 4 per food. Usual price is 1 per food, so there's going to be a profit made by this. We're just going to keep this. I mean, we could take the honey with us or something, but most things you'll need to upgrade. Just if you're really meticulous, you can have a big advantage here. So we're just going to go for that tactics, the hunting tactic, I call it. So let's begin the journey. First, we're going to save some time by just taking the 100 with us already. So this is where you travel, and then these events happen. And you can listen to the people, but it's really not dependent on what they say. There are also different results. You could row closer, search for survivors, and in that case you find some of their purses, which is good. So it's kind of a randomness, and the main thing these events are for is like changing the mood of your people. Like if you have people recommending you this and you do like the other way round, like if they all want combat and you go for, oh no, we'll talk, then they'll be not happy. And this is the main thing these things are about. There are no really bad or really good decisions there, because that a lot of it is based on randomness. And yeah, you have seen you can click on these villages you pass. You can stay there, stay in there, or you can just ignore them. In that case, we decided to go in there, and you can also gain quests, like random quests from there. The main thing to go for is the trader. You can see that you have only like 1 for the food, but you can also sell the food here. It doesn't matter. It will give you 1. You can buy back at 1. And for example, these things, if you note down, you will notice these things at 144 silvers, they are very expensive here, and you could sell them very expensively. So if you bought them for 80 or 90 somewhere, you would make a big profit. But you have to know that first. So you have to note it down or screenshot it and look at it while you're playing the game. So same goes for the other goods, and we could need tools here. That would be nice, because tools you need to repair your ship. Now we're just going to continue here and set sail, because I want to show you something else when selling a lot of food. So we have a lot of food with us, so we can sail like for eternity if we do the right things. And as I said, in that case, like going away from rocks is usually the best decision. When you see the rocks, don't do anything foolish in these events. That's also a thing. I mean, there are foolish choices there, and if you take the foolish choice, then yeah, you're a fool. See, there's a campfire here. We'll ignore it. In campfires, you can also, it's like the same. It's random little cities with a lot of less options, but we are now in Whitla, where we are bound to in the first quest of the Frisians. It's a market in the marsh, and that's like a good sign, because you can often sell there a lot. So there we go. If you have this is an event. So the thing is, if you click on that, the event will start already. If you ignore it, it will not start. So if you have wounded people still, or demoralized people, then go to the tavern first for morale, which costs a bit of silver, or go to the hall to sleep and to rest and to recover, or go to the healer to heal. Same thing, there could be a fight there if you have such an event, so you should prepare accordingly. Then let's look at the trader. We're just going to sell some stuff here. And I'll show you the tactic that is like easy to go for. In the trading thing, you could just go hunting. It is cost effective, but there's a few things you should know about the hunting. Like, it's a cheap tactic to gain some income when you're mainly when you're in a 4 silver for food kind of city. So you'd have expected results 11 to 32 here. We'll confirm. And what you have to do if you confirm here, you have to stay overnight because they need some time to do this. You got 24 food, which is in the middle of the park for this hunting. And now we'll go there again. And you see that the expected results are less good. We could go hunting for another night, which is pretty cool. There are also positive events, by the way. You can also gain pelts. And now, yeah, you have a lot more food. You have a pelt. And you can sleep now. But you definitely should do that before the events. So you always have to stay overnight. And it's a good opportunity to gain some easy money when you're in a city where you can sell food for 4. Or like your pelt's good. There we go. So, that said, like, that was a very quick overview. But I think the game is not that hard, and these are just the things you should know to play this successfully. Okay, your upgrades, you get them at the blacksmith. Just stop at every village and look at the blacksmith and all the things you can trade for or you can do there, and you will play this successfully and have a lot of fun doing it. I mean, if you're a meticulous planner, as I said, go note down all the things about trade. And the blacksmith easy rule is go for the things that cost more. You can also see who can use them. In that case, the hunting spear can be used by the heavies. The wolf coat can only be used by the assault class in that case, and so on. And the higher priced ones are usually better. Like, very cheap. For any tactic. So, thank you for watching. I hope this helped you. It is not a real guide if you go for it, but it is a good help for you to start. Please tell if you've developed a nice settlement after a while. I'd really recommend the game. It's fun. It's not an action-heavy game. It's not a very, very tough game. It's just a historical game with a nice touch where you find out what the people traded with, what they did, and all the kinds of things like that. Earlier on, the quests are nicely done, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun playing this game. Well, if you're watching a guide, you probably know, right? So thank you for watching and happy gaming to you. This is Immanuel Khan signing out, and there's also a Let's Play I'm doing. If you're interested in that, just check it out. I've linked it in the cards and in the end screen. Happy gaming to you.